Hi, Cyclones. A couple of things to get us started. First off, okay, so when we're doing our culture theme, and last week we talked about some of the culture in Kansas City, some of the sporting teams and the big buildings, and I know several classes talked about the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art, and so I thought this was a good shirt for our culture unit. And then I was cleaning out my garage this weekend, and I came across this big book that we haven't used it for a long time. I just have a hard time getting rid of it. And I thought of you all, and it is an atlas. And as those of you who've come to the Zoom this week, I shared this with you. We talked about how an atlas is a collection of maps, and this is a collection of road maps. I thought this was really cool. And so before GPS, we would use this to plan out our routes. And now we just plug it into the GPS and we're good to go. But I'll set this aside and I'll bring it to school and share it with you. I just thought that was sort of cool since we've been talking about atlases being a collection of maps, and so that's a collection of road maps. Okay, so continue with our culture unit. I don't know about you all, but I love this unit, and I'm like constantly, like almost now more aware um, how just like everything I'm doing is connected to my culture. Even like how I'm setting up or like where I'm sitting during the day for my distance learning and what I'm eating for my meals and how I'm eating it and what I'm wearing and some of my hobbies. So it's just encourage you all to do the same. Just sort of pause and realize that everything we're doing and decisions that we're making are based upon our culture, which is our way of life for a society or a group of people. Essential questions: how people and groups are different, and how does your culture affect your behavior? Learning goals: continue to locate major nations of the world. Explain how the physical and human characteristics of places and regions are connected to human identities and cultures. And you're going to see that in a short culture Edpuzzle video during this week. Analyze material culture to explain people's perspective and use of place. And again, that's going to be in a actually, what is culture? Um, slides you'll be looking at this week. Compare and contrast the human characteristics within and among contemporary and historic regions over time, and you'll see some differences there as you go through the last assignment, which is some World Heritage sites. And then analyzing the relationship between the physical environment and cultural traditions to determine their impact on individuals, groups, and institutions. For the homework grid, I haven't deleted the current stuff. I'm recording this earlier than usual, so I didn't want to delete the information for Tuesday. So once Tuesday's over, I'll delete that and just put the new stuff. But this is what we'll have started on Wednesday, December 2nd. Watching the weekly video, that'll also be an Edpuzzle. I think we've got that routine down. Then read the weekly email. In the email, I'm going to be talking about if you're wanting to reassess your nations quiz or reassessing your Unit 2 HEI test. I'm also going to explain how I'm going to, as of probably December 9th, I'm actually going to unpublish our Unit 2 folder on Schoology just to help clean it up and just keep us focused on our current unit. So if there's anything you're needing to access in Unit 2, you need to take care of that this week. Documents, you'll still be able to get into your Google Drive, but it just won't be as easily accessible and organized like we see it on Schoology. So we're going to move on to Unit 3. Okay, so you've done your Edpuzzle video. And then go through what is culture slides. And you're going to use this to fill in pages 10 and 11 in your culture journal. Okay, so you're going to watch your Edpuzzle. Then you're going to go through these slides. And then those of you who are doing it digitally, you'll just switch back and forth between your tabs to fill in pages 10 and 11 in your culture journal. Those of you doing it in paper, just lay them in front of you, fill in pages 10 and 11 as you're going through this presentation. What I'm thinking of doing on my Zooms, be back and I'll talk to you about the Zooms. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking of doing on Zooms this week, starting Wednesday, December 2nd. I'll still do the check-in. I'll write down who's there and then ask if anyone has some specific social studies questions or something they need help with. But I'm thinking let's use this time to go through the What is the Culture presentation and fill out pages 10 and 11 together. I don't know if we'll get through the whole thing, but it'd be a good start. And that way you can just set aside that time and get that done and we could help each other on it. You all can be shouting out the answers to pages 10 and 11. But again, what you just do is you're going to go through the presentation. And as you're going through it, you'll either switch between different tabs for your digital journal, or those of you doing paper, just set it in front of you and fill that out as you're going along. Page 4, and I've made some notes to you. If you'll go back here. And here, if I've already told you this, but I moved your journal. I moved it out of the week and just put it at the top of Unit 3. I figured since we're using it for every week, that way you don't have to remember where to find it at. So I hope that helps. But then I put some information on the assignment for this week to open up your culture journal using the What is Culture presentation. Slide number 4, you should already have 7 terms defined and a picture. Make sure you've got pictures with them. Those of you doing paper just need to hand draw a picture. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If it's something other than 7, please reach out to me and help correct me on that. But I believe you have 7 that are done now. And then slides 6 through 9 are done. 10 and 11 we're doing right now with the What is Culture presentation. And then 19 should already be completed. And then you'll need to submit that just since I can't in person go up and down the aisles and check them or call you over and look at them. So if you'll please hit submit when you're finished with these slides this week. And then those of you doing it on paper, I recorded a video last week and showed you how to take a picture of it. If you would do me a favor and just make sure you stretch out that picture, don't just insert it and leave it teeny tiny, but if you could stretch it out. And then if you would also, put eyeballs on it, look at it, make sure you can read it and everything looks okay. That way I'll be able to read it when I see mine also. Those of you doing digital, don't have to, but just I've seen some students do this and it was really handy doing a different font for your answers. But again, not required. And when you're doing your answers, you're going to put them over here in the right-hand column. And paper people, if you need to number them and answer them at the bottom, however you need to squeeze those in there. But the questions are on the left, and then your answers are going to be on the right side to help us organize that. And then just make sure you submit it by the deadline. Paper people, if you made any updates to slide 4, just make sure you delete that picture and then put your most up-to-date one on there. Okay, and then there is a Culture Ed puzzle for you. It goes right along with the learning goals and fits in with the What is Culture presentation that you went through. And finally, a World Heritage Sites Flipgrid video assignment. You'll be submitting your answer as a Flipgrid video. Here we go. I put a little video, but the way that the video is set through Schoology doesn't allow me to show my screen, but I was just trying it out and just sort of giving you an overview of the assignment. This will be the most helpful. You can still watch the video. Okay, so step 1, background information. A World Heritage Site is a place of cultural or natural heritage considered to be of outstanding value to humanity, according to United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, which is UNESCO, the group that oversees the selection and preservation of these valuable places. As of 2016, there are 1,052 properties on the World Heritage List, 814 of cultural significance, 203 of natural significance, and 35 of mixed value. Each year, nations that choose to participate may nominate sites to be added to the list. So it's a cool thing. The list is ever-changing. Things can be added to it. A committee evaluates the nominations and decides whether they should be included. Listed properties must meet at least one of the 10 criteria. Examples of the criteria include that a site represents a masterpiece of human creative genius or it's an area of exceptional natural beauty. Participating nations agreed to maintain and protect the listed sites. The images in the gallery show several World Heritage Sites as seen from orbiting satellites. These sites represent a cross-section of the types of places included on the list. To view all of the World Heritage Sites and find more information and images, go to UNESCO World Heritage Convention site. But we're going to look at the images linked here. Okay, next up, look through the images. We're going to go to this link. And then it's got the image from the satellite, and over on the left is like some background information or explaining what's in the image. And then you can just click through those. The image, read about what the image is showing. And you can pick from these images here, or if you want to look at more, go down here over to the list. And you can just play around with the map, clicking on it from here, or going over by country, region, or year. So your choice. So just pick which site you would want to visit and be able to explain why. Oops, sorry. And then you're going to record a video on Flipgrid to answer two questions. One, if you could go to any of the 1,000+ UNESCO World Heritage sites, which site would you want to visit and learn about? And why did you choose that site? And then this is just, I shared it with you with Unit 1 when you did your vacation video, but it's just how to record the Flipgrid video. But select which social studies class you're in. If you're not sure, look at the front of your binder on that paper. But what day would you have social studies class? And click on that. And then you'll go to your UNESCO World Heritage site. You're going to be signing in with Google when it gives you that option. And then you're just going to record your response answering the question. If you could go to any of the 1,000+ UNESCO World Heritage sites, which site would you want to visit and learn about, and why did you choose that site? So which site and why did you choose it? And then you also get a chance, you can watch your classmates' video, so learn about some different sites and where they would like to go. Now that is, let me go back through this. So you're going to have, I'll publish this after this is done and put it as an Edpuzzle. So if you have the Edpuzzle video, going through the note slides, the Google presentation, filling in slides 10 and 11 and making sure you hit submit, doing a second Edpuzzle, and then this Flipgrid video. And then the Flipgrid video is going to show as an assignment, but you actually turn it in Flipgrid. And then I'll set it up like before. Hey, you do 3.5 before you do 3.6, and then just work through those steps. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Email, come to my Zoom at 9 o'clock, or send me a message on Microsoft Teams. So enjoy learning more about what is culture and learning about your own culture. Have a great week. Bye, Cyclones.